First, I want to welcome you guys, and I want to introduce people to whom who might not know who you are. You guys are, if we have to put a label, a thrash metal band. And if I say, you can correct me, Tabahi, will we correct the name?
Yeah, yeah.
Tabahi.
Yeah. So thank you. Yeah, so thank you for introducing us, and it's an honor to actually talk to you. As I said, that it's again, music keeps us united. We're pretty far away. That we're in Pakistan, and we're connected to you, and we're just talking about it. So basically, Tabahi is an Urdu language word which actually means destruction.
Destruction.
'Cause we're inspired by the German Teutonic thrash metal bands. So we named our band as Tabahi, and we're the only thrash metal band from the country right now.
Oh my God. It must be scary and exciting at the same time. It's like you're paving the way, right?
Yeah. It actually basically, if we tell this to everyone and everyone who listens to our music, so they have a lot of expectations that we're the only thrash metal band from the country. There are a lot of expectations, but hopefully, and the people who have listened to our music, they've really appreciated us, and so yeah, it puts a lot of responsibility on your shoulders that we're putting this music out there and representing Pakistan in the best way possible ever.
And you know what it is? I think hopefully you got this across when I did my reaction to your song. Is whatever criticisms I might had, at the end of the day, what captured me was your spirit and your energy.
Yeah.
And to me, that's always the most important when you have the heart and soul, which I saw from the beginning. I'm like, oh man, automatically you become partial because you feel it. You feel the kind of the passion in music. I always make the comparison to, if you guys are aware of Yngwie Malmsteen.
Yep.
I always say Yngwie, amazing guitarist. I don't like him. To me, he's boring. I much rather to listen to somebody like Tabahi who has just thrash spirit that I absolutely love.
And also, so basically, again, that you said all the construct. I would like to call this constructive criticism, because we like to have criticism, and basically the things that you mentioned, like that the music and the song itself was very pacey, and it was really inspired by our idols, and basically Daniel here, and we're very much inspired by the 80s thrash metal, Kill 'Em All, Show No Mercy. But hopefully you're going to see much of a different side in the next upcoming songs, because we've recorded around 22 songs. Yeah, so all yeah, so we're planning to actually release them hopefully in the coming years, because in Pakistan, as you know, music can't earn you bread and butter. So basically, I work 7 days a week. This guy works 7 days a week. 5 days a week, I work as a corporate marketing manager, and 2 days I teach in different universities. Daniel here, again, 7 days a week. So we bust our asses out, but then again, we have to follow our passion, because it just comes from inside, and we have to just put it out there somewhere.
I'm going to use some of your words that you guys put on your website that I thought was very interesting. Is in your words, Karachi is a city known as the most violent in Pakistan, a perfect breeding ground for thrash. And let me tell you, I couldn't agree more when it comes to thrash. And it's just what I kind of wanted to lead into a question with this is thrash metal in general it's become more of a niche genre in music. What compelled you guys specifically? It's like, we need to play thrash metal music. What was it about this genre or style that really appealed to you?
I think the aggression in that certain music, and just generally just metal music, it generally just inspired us to write such songs. And if you listen to our debut album, which was back in 2014, yes, it had a few thrash numbers, but it had a different some of the riffs were sort of like power metalish as well. So we included some elements in that as well. But generally, if you're talking about our inspirations, I think the inspirations led us to where we're actually making this specific music about. So our inspirations, as I told you, were again the Teutonic thrash metal bands, German thrash metal bands. And the vocalist, our bassist over here, again is a big fan of the Teutonic thrash metal band. So what we did was we saw a lot of bands out there, and one thing that we realized, in specifically in metal music, is that and the bands who are producing the music out there, like you have gent, you have metalcore and other metal genres out there. But what we realized that a lot of people were actually missing the old school thrash that was out there. Yeah, yeah. So a lot of people actually related to it and appreciated it, that we are carrying that throne and that like that movement, and that actually just inspired us to make and write just not only just thrash numbers, because we've written other songs as well. So hopefully you're going to listen to other songs. And if you're talking about our country and the city that we're from, it actually inspires us every day to write more music.
Yeah.
Every single day is a struggle in Karachi. Like if I go to work, I have to make sure that my everything, that all of my valuables are are safe, because in Karachi, if you go out here and there would be multiple snatching, there would be multiple people who would be just pulling out a gun and asking for all of your valuables. So we learn from our experiences, and we try to it's 10:30 in the night right now. So Daniel just came in, and then we just talk about it and then write our experiences and all the frustrations and the stress that we have to face every single day living in Pakistan. I'll tell you a funny story about the video that you saw, the politics one. So what happened was, so what happened was, when we were actually shooting this video, we were chased by a lot of street criminals, because it was 1 a.m. in the night, and we were shooting this, and we had a crew of like 4 people who were just shooting this video, and they literally chased us for 15 minutes, and we had all of our equipment, we had all of our camera gear, and we were so scared that how we would be able to shoot, how would be able to recover all of this, because we're all financially supporting the band ourselves. We're putting in all the money, like the cover that you see, the album art that you see, the video production that you see, the audio production that you see, our guitars, everything that is self-financed. So we're putting all of our financial stability there. So we were quite worried that all of our footages would be lost, and we would be, so it just happened. And this is one of the struggles that we face on a regular basis. And just recently on Sunday, we were planning to shoot another music video, and we just heard that situation is pretty bad. We cannot really go out and shoot the music video. So that's one of the things and that's one of the problems that we face. Not just being in a metal band, but just being involved in music, and just thinking and making sure that we try to put our passion out there. Yeah.
My wife, she's from Colombia, and she reminds me of that all the time. She said, Joseph, you can't walk around in Colombia just like this. You'll get robbed. So she's, I'm reminded of that because I've grown up here despite coming from Russia. So I know where you're coming from. And talking about the self-debut album, which is Tabahi as well, right? The name of the band. I got to listen to it, and I got to say, I loved it. I thought it was awesome. I liked it from the beginning to the end. And the thing that's apparent right away from this album, Tabahi, to what's going to be the new one, is the production's much better.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you, I did notice the variety of songs you had and kind of the different places you go into with your songs, all of which I kind of appreciated. But I also want to see, because as musicians, you always want to grow, you want to change, you want to do things. What was the specific, if you had a specific mission or changes to the formula or anything that you wanted to do with this particular album or a batch of songs that you've created for us now?
So first thing first, I know back in 2014, we started recording our debut album back in 2013. And we had no jobs. We had I just graduated from the university. I had no job, but we had this passion to actually make sure that we have to put something out there, because we're the and a lot of people were expecting some music coming in from us as well. So we literally recorded in our homes, and I wouldn't go into detail how did we record that album. Yeah. But then again, the first priority was when we again got into the second phase of our recording. The first priority was to make sure that the production is top notch. That was our phase first main goal. The drums were sounding good, the guitars were sounding good, the bass was on point, his vocals were on the level that everyone could hear it properly. I still see that there is still a lot of potential in the 14, the last debut album that we did. So if the production is way much better in that certain album, I think a lot of more fans will get to hear that album more and appreciate it more, because at that certain time there was the current situation that where it was quite worse back in 2014 and
Yeah, yeah.
2013. And if you see the similar, if you see go through our songs, the lyrical themes, the lyrical content of those songs is just related to the situations that we were normally facing. So the first priority was to just make sure that the production is top notch. And I think one of the advantages that we had was we were working from home for almost a year. I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
that
yeah.
really helped us to. But we made sure that I went through multiple tutorials. I talked to a lot of guys, and that's the best part of being a metalhead. No matter where you're from, no matter where you come from, no matter what religion you are, what race that you belong to, the community is so strong that they want to help you no matter what. So I joined in a lot of groups. I got to meet a lot of people. I sent in my demos. They gave their feedback to us, and some of them actually mixed and mastered some of our songs as well. So and that was all for free. They were just doing it for the love of our music, for the love of for metal, and especially seeking the fact that we're the only thrash metal band from Pakistan. So I think that really helped us and motivated us. And again, as I said, that we have around 22 songs, all recorded, all done with the lyrics. We're just making sure that we release our second EP, hopefully in June and July. Yeah.
Well, you know what is you kind of led into another question which I wanted to ask, because this is something that I would like to say that I'm somewhat knowledgeable about the world and the politics of the world, but I still wanted to ask you this question. Is in any way there kind of any political, cultural implications for you guys playing Western music or this thrash metal music in Pakistan? Or there's no barrier there? Is it more of the idea of just that there's certain dangers or difficulties that you might have, but there's no like political, cultural kind of implications for you guys?
Yeah, so I would definitely say that there's a certain notion in our society that a musician is not respected in our society, whether he's playing rock, whether he's playing any genre. Because one of the people, the musicians that are famous in Pakistan, and the origins of our music actually started with Sufi music, which is Qawwali, Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan. So I think, and those people were not really respected in our society, and they call them as Marasis, That's what they call people who don't have respect. So I think we do face a lot of cultural issues. But as I said, I used to have long hair back in 2014, 2013. But no one in my university wanted to talk to me because I had long hair and I was a Marathi. I used to play guitar. So that was very, really demotivating us. And we just, as I said, we just wanted to push all of our frustrations and tensions and every single thing into our work, no matter how many people listen to it. Even if it's just 2 or 3 people, even if it's the metalhead community who is listening to our song, that just makes our day. Literally, that just makes our day.
I agree with you.
Yeah, so I think, and the political thing that you talked about, there's no as such restriction in that, but yes, we do face some troubles when it comes to just writing songs. We make sure that any of the names are not just put in out there, because you never know, there might be a black Vigo just kidnapping us and just making sure that you don't produce this music, or you just don't. So there's a lot of things that we do think of when, like writing our opinions, and our opinions on the basic situation that we have to live in Pakistan. Yeah.
The reason I mentioned that too is I don't know if you guys ever seen, there was a documentary about a band from Iraq,
Yeah.
Krisikwala.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like the
Yeah.
struggles. That's the reason I thought, it's important to kind of ask that question, because
Yeah.
it affects everybody in some kind of way. Metal music in general, it spawned from this rebellion to being told what to do, rebellion to what you should be. And
Yeah.
I have a great respect for you guys, really trying your hardest to put your music out, because one of the things I preach on the channel is there's nothing better in the world than doing something that you love and just getting a couple of pennies for it as well in the process. There's nothing better.
Yeah, and that's what we aim for. So as we were forming and we were just making songs, I told Daniel, I told the other band members that we literally have zero expectations. I don't want Tabahi to be, like popping up, at least in my country. We don't want to do live, like live TV broadcasts. It's all shit to us. It doesn't even matter. All that matters for us is that the people who are in the metal community hears our songs, hear our struggle, hear what we go through in actually making this music. And it takes a lot of toll. It takes a lot of hard work and effort.
How is the general metal scene in Pakistan? Is it very small?
Yeah, so back in 2010, when we actually started Tabahi, that was in 2008, but the underground metal scene was quite good back in 2008 till 2011, and we did a few concerts, like covering Metallica, covering Iron Maiden, and there used to be, and if you go through some of our old videos, you might see some concerts being happening in Karachi, and a lot of people were into it. Like Wall of Deaths and moshing, and that's the best part, because we would really want to play live, and that's the main thing that we struggle. And we haven't really done a concert in what, like 10 15 plus years, because there's no scene in Pakistan for metal music. But I know a lot of people who have been, like their inspirations are metal artists, but as you know that they wanted to just a minute.
No worries.
Yeah, so as you know that they wanted to make this music, but again they also wanted to earn bread and butter. So what they did was they went into the commercial scene. They started making and producing pop music, and they wanted all the fame and all the like glitz and glamour. So all of those people actually went into pop music, and the only metal bands that are actually alive, I would probably say the word alive, is again Tabahi from Karachi, and the other band that I know of is Takatak from Lahore. They're really cool guys, and they released out their album, I think, their EP in 2021. Pretty cool guys, really good stuff. They I think their genre is gent, and they have been appreciated by everyone as well. So they're the only metal band, but then again, all of their guitarists and drummers, they're in the commercial projects now. So we're the only ones. We get invited a lot by all of those people, like on a regular basis. But we really just want to do metal rather than just like focusing on. It's not that we don't like rock or pop music or indie music. We love doing it, and we've been like we love hearing those musics and those genres. But it's just that we want to, like me and Daniel and other band members, we want to be appreciated on the music that we do and the music that we love, which is metal.
Metal. And it's so important, I believe, for the community to support bands like this who are struggling, who are having a hard time. Sometimes we'll get somebody to ask me to react to something. I was like, but be careful, the quality is not very good. I'm like, dude, I grew up with 80s records where you couldn't hear what you're listening to, but the music was good, so you were able to get past, you didn't care. So it's so important. For example, the reason as soon as I heard your song and reacted to it, I'm like, I need to talk to these guys, because even if I do my part of just two people, extra people checking you out and liking you, I thought I have done my part in spreading the word, because it's so important. It's not cassette tapes anymore, right? It's exchanging videos.
Yeah. But I really appreciate you taking the time out and just talking about us, because I think it's really important for us to get motivated from the community, and we have been getting some amazing responses. One of them I would really want to mention, because Jeff Waters is one of the big inspirations that we look up to. And I still remember we used to listen to all of his work and all of his concerts, or literally like this small speaker. And when he actually responded to the track that I sent him, he said that it's pretty amazing and you guys should play at Wacken. And I'm like, okay. Unfortunately, we're from Pakistan and some of the opportunities are not even available for us. But in 2015 and 16, we were actually approached by a lot of European promoters that they wanted to include us in different concerts. But unfortunately, things didn't work out because, as I said, music won't earn us bread and butter. So that's the struggle. Yeah.
I've interviewed some bands from Australia, and I'm talking about you guys touring, everything. He's like, for us to go to Europe, it has to make sense. It's like, it's very expensive to travel there.
Yeah.
Everything comes out of your pocket. You're not getting paid much for these things. So it's like, it really has to make sense for us to travel out. So you almost like become this vicious circle where you need to travel out to do this, but you can't because you have to survive.
Yeah, that's true. And the best part is that I actually traveled to Turkey back in 2020, and I went to a local metal shop over there, and I had to buy the patches that you saw on our metal jacket. Yeah, pretty awesome, right? That took a lot of effort and time.
I love it. Creator is my favorite Teutonic thrash.
Yeah, same here, man. So I went there and I asked that guy that is there a Pakistani band that is in the records or something. So he showed me this. If you can just the cassette that you can, So I'll show you the thing that I bought from there, and it completely caught me by surprise that one of the producers that we had, and they actually had. Yeah, so they had a debut album, and I actually bought it myself. I was so happy. There are a lot of people, like they really, even though the production generally, I completely agree, that was, not that good, but still they really appreciated, and they put it out there, and we were so happy. I was so happy personally that the music is out there. Our music is out there.
It's a matter of time, I believe so. It's a matter of time for you guys to keep growing, keep getting better. The production will get better. More people will notice you. More people will talk about you. And just talking to you guys for 5 minutes, honestly speaking, I don't even feel like I'm talking to somebody across the world. I feel I'm talking to my friend and my brother. It's different because first of all, we're all people of this earth, right? We're all love music. The passion, when you feel the passion from one person to another, it's very important. But I have to, when we say passion, I got to ask this from both of you guys. If we're talking about thrash metal, what's your 5 favorite thrash records off the top of your head?
Thrash records. Okay.
I'll make it easier. Bands.
Okay. Let's start with Daniel. I think Daniel hasn't really spoken much. He just speaks in the songs.
Go ahead, Daniel.
The first one is Destruction, right?
Destruction.
Destruction. Sodom, and Metallica Kill 'Em All.
Which one was that one? I'm sorry.
Metallica Kill 'Em All is one of my favorite albums. Yes. Then Megadeth.
Megadeth. Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
So I think one of the things that Daniel, because he's our vocalist, and Daniel was just what 14, 15, 13 years old. Can you imagine that? I'm 29 right now. He was 13. He visited me and he saw me playing guitars, and he was like, I want to hear something, different. And the next day, what I did was I just gave him Kill 'Em All, and that just entirely changed his life. Literally changed his life, and he wanted to play. And like the other day that he came up to me, and he knew how to play some of the stuff, like for the Four Horsemen, Hit the Lights. He knew how to play all of those songs. And that specific day, he came up to me and said, "I've made a new thrash metal song." And I was like, "Fuck, that's pretty amazing."
That's amazing. How about you, man?
And that song is actually included in our 2014 album as well. So that's the best part. So my inspirations include again, Creator, yes, Sodom, yes, Destruction. Metallica has been a huge inspiration for me. Megadeth. I think some of the first albums that Dave Mustaine did.
Of course.
I think very Holy Wars is one of my favorite songs. But I do listen to other genres as well. Like the groove metal scene that started in 2000s. So Pantera, all the other bands, power metal. Then it also includes some of the rock bands that came in. I love Dokken. I've been a huge fan of Dokken. We call Ronnie James Dio our maternal grandfather. So
you know what it is? I sometimes need to be reminded how lucky I am. I got to see Ronnie James Dio with Black Sabbath twice before they passed away. So and he was as amazing as I ever thought he was. So the idea is like, you forget sometimes how much you have until you hear somebody else tell you how much they don't. And I for honestly speaking, I really wish for you guys just absolutely the best. Like just for it to keep the plank to keep on going, because I'll be there to support and spread the message in the best way that I can. But it's something you touched upon, and I want to kind of also address is you guys are fully independent. People got to understand that it does add to the story when you hear the album and you might have any criticism. It's an important thing to understand. You guys are self-produced, and is it because it's just absolutely difficult to get any kind of label to kind of check you out? Is it just not enough exposure? Because obviously you're a marketing guy, so you know how to utilize social media. And the idea that a band nowadays, you can't just be a musician. It's a content creator. Spreading the message the way you just approached me is like, the best ways to kind of spread. So your just overall opinion on the independent part, is it a choice or more of a thing? It's just very difficult to break out?
So unfortunately, we don't really have record labels over here in Pakistan. There are a few, but the mainstream artists are just signed to that, and there's no space for emerging talent or emerging bands to just get a label here in Pakistan. There's no scene as such. There's no label who supports. We got, I'll tell you a funny story. We got signed by one of the major record labels back in 2012. We were so happy. And what we did was we had to put in all of our money to actually make the music video. And the record label told us that you'll be, reimbursed. All of those money will be reimbursed to you. We're like, okay, we put in around 4-5 million rupees. And that was again a huge cost. We took out some loans. We literally sold off most of our instruments, and we made that music video, right? And then just 1 year later, the record label was just closed down. So we were in debt, and I had to, my brother had to work in the night shifts just to, pay off that debt loan. So that is the situation that we face. We don't have any record labels. We don't have anyone supporting. generally music in Pakistan. Yes, there are some avenues that are, producing music in journal, but that is again in the mainstream, like the pop music, like the EDM music. Rap is quite famous in Pakistan right now. I don't know why, because we don't really use explicit language in our songs, but if you listen to those rap songs, generally that we have in Pakistan, it's very disrespectful to actually hear that song with your friends or family. That is just generally my opinion, that the songs that I hear from the people out there. So if you ask me, there again is not really much support. And there, what we do is we, as you said, that I have a marketing background. I reach out to labels. I reach out to all of the, the distributors, and most importantly, the community is so spread out. They actually reach out to us. So they want to, distribute. So the Turkey incident that I talked to you about, some of the people from Europe, I believe, they reached out to us and they said, we can make your, cassettes and CDs. We're like, all good. Because we don't have any money to do it. we just produced, if you can imagine, we just produced 25 CDs on our own because we had no money. And only I think we just have one copy of our 2014 album and nobody really bought it. Okay, so I'll tell you about the struggles that we have to face online, digitally. Yeah. So if anyone wants to support the band, they do it on our Bandcamp, right? They go buy the album off our Bandcamp. So we got a lot of sales off from our Bandcamp. But then again, we were not able to, transit that money into Pakistan because that was linked to PayPal, and we don't have PayPal in Pakistan, unfortunately. So all that money, I literally used to, email them, and I used to tell them, thank you so much for supporting us, but we would like you to, request a refund or a transaction reversal from your end because we cannot really accept that money. And, they just wanted to support the band. So just to finish up your question, again, we don't have any support. We're earning money, and we're just putting our hard-earned money into our passion, into our music.
I hear you, man. Honestly speaking, this story kind of breaks my heart to even listen. Because, even from my own experience of being a personal trainer, which was my dream to become something, and how difficult it could be. And then you see somebody next to you and doing something they love, and there's so many road paths and roadways in your way. Well, you know what, I'm gonna kind of, to help close out our interview, I really want to give you, Russian people, we love toasts. Middle Eastern people too, we all love toasts.
Yeah, man.
So my toast to you guys is, I want these roadways and blockways in your path to start opening up. And this passion that I clearly see oozing from the screen talking to you, that other people start seeing it and cultivating it. I really wish you guys the absolute best. Like I said, at least in New York, you have one fan. I can tell you that for sure.
That just means a lot, I think, coming from you. And I think we're just ending that conversation, and just talking to you just makes our day, because as I said, that all of the frustrations and the situations that we have to face on a regular basis, we just talk about it, and talking to a person in New York and just explaining our struggles, and it just makes our day, it feels so much better. I feel so much relief because the struggles that I talked to you about, it's been tough, man. It's been literally tough because as I told you, we had to sell off our instruments, and then we have to financially put in all of our efforts, not just mentally, physically, but financially. I think that matters a lot for the band. So now you can think of how do we make the music video, how do we make the album. So, but I'm really thankful for you to just talk to us and taking the time out, and that's really grateful, and we're so honored to share all of the things that we talked about. Thank you so much. That means a lot. Means a lot.
And you know what it is? Again, you gained a fan. Again, I say you gained a brother. We began our friendship through a video interview like this, but I don't see it going anywhere because we could always chat with each other, interact with one another. And again, guys, wish you the best.
Thank you so much, Assis. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.